Let's talk to Jeremy Lyon. He's a consultant at Hobart Capital and a dear friend of mine. Jeremy, very good morning to you.
Same to you.
Right, we've seen lots of Brexit headlines. We've seen Mr. Trump, okay. We've seen Bank of England's interest rates. We've seen the markets gyrating, risk
Not
on,
too
risk
bad.
off. Okay, you're on your soapbox. Give me 5 minutes. What's inside your brain? What are you thinking right here, right now?
Well, what we can observe is actually how the Bank of England is behaving. The 90-day money rate is over 3%, only a touch over, but it's showing there's a huge stress for short-term money, which I can only assume is that it is industry in general preparing their positions in sterling over the short term.
Okay.
That's October and through over Christmas time and all that sort of stuff. So they're borrowing short to cover their exposure in sterling. And the Bank of England is desperately trying to give a sort of platitude and a confidence nature that the sterling isn't really crumbling. It's very stable within 2 or 3 cents. It's been an amazing job. But there is huge pressure there. And of course, that reflects on our equities in the FTSE, because 60–70% of those are all exporters, and they're more dollar bound than we are. So and that's the main worry, short term. The real worry in October and onwards will be how some sort of arrangement has to be made for trade across the English Channel. And because the realism is there are something between 5,000 to 10,000 lorry drivers going across Dover and Felixstowe every day. Now those chaps, it's their livelihood, and they can be very stroppy.
Yep.
If there is a few poor chaps who are acting on behalf of the EU trying to document their services. And that is where the real challenge comes for our politicians who've got to sort this out. I think there will be some sort of small sort out. And Mrs. May is very vulnerable, because if she can't do a deal, we'll have to find someone who can. So those are my thoughts as we look into the market. And we're in funny seasons now for the next 2 months. They'll all be, the press will be all over the place. But to me, a deal has to be done. It's just too dangerous.
So when you say we're in funny season, okay, invariably all the fund managers and the likes are sitting on the beaches, and we always seem to have some sort of tear up over the summer. Can you see anything specific this year?
Yes, you can. It's currencies. The currencies, there is normally a struggle coming up to the end of September. And it's normally adjusting their company balance sheets to make it look reasonable by the end of December.
Yep.
And that's where there is always juggling goes on across, you know, if dollar gets too strong for us, not only for UK, but for Europe in general and for the Far East. And you've noticed that the Chinese are sort of dripping their yuan down in order to compensate for the taxes that dear old Trump's trying to put on. So there are crises around us, but at the moment they're covered up.
Right.
But I do believe that those will be part of the equation in the end of September, November time.
On that note, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Bruce.